Golf Smarter number 680 is brought to you by Peter Millar Golf. Go to petermillar.com/golfsmarter to use my link and receive complimentary shipping and a free hat with your order. And don't forget that we're announcing our first winner of a $100 Amazon gift card courtesy of autoslash.com next week. So register now at golfsmarter.com/autoslash. Autoslash is one word, AUTOSLASH. golfsmarter.com/autoslash. And good luck. How's this for our new golf mindset? Expect the world, accept the results. With Jeff Ritter.
This is Golf Smarter. Sharing stories, tips, and insights from great golf minds to help you lower your score and raise your golf IQ. Here's your host, Fred Green.
Welcome back to the Golf Smarter podcast, Jeff.
Hey, Fred. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's great to have you back on the show. Happy New Year. A little late, but Happy New Year, buddy.
Happy New Year to you as well.
Always enjoy having you on because, well, you know, your Make the Turn initiative, I think you announced that you were going to be doing it here on the podcast, and it's grown quite well. It's got a life of its own now. What's going on with that?
Yeah, I think the most exciting thing is that we've got a new location up in Bend, Oregon, which is where I'm living full time now, the Pronghorn Resort, and 36-hole golf course. Both nationally ranked courses in terms of courses the public can play. We've got just the most amount of tee space and short game area that you can possibly imagine. Fred, I was down in California for a while, and there's just not a lot of available land, for a lot of great practice areas. And, my short game area alone is like 5 acres, Fred.
Whoa.
Wow. I got three. I mean, it's like you'd expect to see that short game area, at the, most marquee tour stop and all the players lined up hitting wedges into greens and multiple greens and everything. It's just, it's really cool. So, we got a great studio as well with all, the latest and greatest technology. We got gears in there. We've created a partnership with True Spec Golf, so they're one of the premier, club fitting resources, in North America right now. So they're going to be doing some cool stuff with us, and yeah, it's amazing. We threw quite a bit of money into the project, and we're really trying to do something special. And with Pronghorn, out here in Bend, Central Oregon. Fantastic family destination in addition to being a golf destination. And we've got a 200-room lodge that's just opening up here in April as well. Yeah, so it's everything that I could ever want in a facility. The support, the space, and a consistent influx of folks that want to come out and work on the golf games.
I can imagine it's a bit different than Arizona, where you spent so much time, as far as the topography and the weather.
I mean, I loved living in Arizona for a long time, but after a while, just the heat and the brownness wore on me a little bit. And, up here in Bend, I'm 5 minutes from, being in the wilderness in any direction I want to go. And, you got some seasons and you still got a lot of sunny skies, and it's just a magical place. I'm lucky to be here. Talk
about magical places. How far are you from Bandon?
Probably about 5.5 hours.
Oh, okay.
Not too bad. It's doable.
It's doable, but it's not let's go play Bandon today.
Well, you could.
Well, of course you could, but it's not practical. Not practical.
Well,
no, you've got to stay overnight when you go out there. But that's still in the same state. So Oregon's bigger than we all imagine.
It's huge. It's gorgeous. I mean, I had no idea all this place had to offer, and it's an amazing place to not only be part of Golf Fred, but also be part of a certain kind of lifestyle. And folks up here are really active, but they're active outdoors. They're connected to nature, and there's so many things to do. So it's been a really great spot for me, not only from a business perspective, but also a personal perspective as well.
Sure. I know that being a native Californian, one of the perspectives that Oregon offers is don't Californicate Oregon.
Yeah. Yeah, they get a little touchy up here. All the Californians want to roll into town.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have our own dispensaries. Thank you very much. So let's talk about Make the Turn. What's been going on lately with it? I love Make the Turn, and explain what it is.
Yeah, so Make the Turn it's an integrated approach to not only playing better but also living better. And everyone that comes out for a golf lesson, the ignition point is how can I go out there and shoot a lower score and have a little bit more fun. But there's a lot of lessons that are inherent within the game that help us not only shoot those low scores but also live more powerfully in other areas of our lives. So it's basically a 4-pronged approach. It's skill building, mindset, fitness, and nutrition. And our whole philosophy is that you're at your best when you feel your best. How you feel is a product of your behaviors and how you think and how you take care of yourself. And if you can do that and approach playing the game with a sense of enthusiasm and the belief that there's fun or joy within the struggle, because it's a struggle to learn this game and stay on top of your mindset relative to it. But if people can do that, then golf can be an amazing thing for them. So I like to say that Make the Turn is using all these ideas to use a game to help people have life be the way they want it to be.
Right. And how many different platforms are there that we can find to Make the Turn? Was it print and video and web, and it's everywhere, right?
Yeah, it's everywhere. I mean, the thing that listeners can do right now is I've got a Make the Turn golf app. It's a mttgolfapp.com. It's a free download, videos, podcasts, and it's just a project that we launched about a year ago. We're slowly growing it, and these projects with these apps, you have to film so much content just to get something that someone's going to enjoy and have value. So just kind of getting off the ground, with some of the curriculum took a while, but now that we're kind of hitting the ground running, we get together a few times a year and we film 30 or 40 videos, and that way we have them all in the can. And so when people buy the app, or they go to the upgraded one version, the cool thing is that they're always getting new content. It's not like you bought a book or something like that and it is what it is. It's always growing, it's always evolving. So when you get that little notification on your phone, it's going to be something good that I think can help you.
Awesome. And it's really hard to continue to generate all that content, especially when you have to do videos. So it's great to have someone dedicated doing it for you. Now, is it available for both iOS and Android?
Just iOS right now.
Just iOS. So you just find it in the App Store, or is
just iOS in the App Store? Yeah.
Yeah. So, but is there a website as well? Is there mttgolfapp.com, or you just go to MTT Golf?
Yes. mttgolfapp.com.
Oh, okay, cool. And in the App Store. Yep. Okay, in the App Store. Great.
Yep.
What's the?
So check it out. Lots of simple content.
Oh yeah. So there's a free version and a paid version.
That's right. Yeah.
And what's the cost for the paid version, and what's the benefit?
Well, it's $4.99 a month, and or $49 for the year. And the benefit is just being able to have that consistent voice. Someone that's taking the game of golf, which is kind of inherently complex, and making it seem more simple and doable, and being able to connect on a variety of different levels. I mean, the benefit is that I think people are gonna feel like the game is easier. Feel like the game is more fun, learn some things that they probably weren't expecting to learn, but they think are really, really cool if they did. And within that, play a better game, shoot some lower scores.
What are some of the latest episodes that have been featured? What do you talk about?
The most recent one was all about, trajectory control, with your wedges and the greens, and being able to create a system, which is basically, rooted in numbers like a 1 through 4, and those 1 through 4 are like, windows in a building, and the windows you're going to be able to hit with your trajectories. And, I think it's really important for people to be able to, in short game shots, understand what the shot should look like relative to the situation. Like when they hit off a tee, they just kind of hit it down the fairway. And when they're trying to hit towards the green, they just sort of, hit it towards the green. But, the big thing is that they're not understanding when a shot really has to be dialed in from a height perspective, that there's a lot of things that they could do or should do to, maximize their effectiveness.
I want to go into that a lot deeper. I love that concept because I know that when I'm playing with people and I'm watching, I think I have a fairly decent sense of, dropping the ball in versus letting it run. But I know that when I'm playing with some of my friends and they have to get up to the green, they don't realize that if they hit a low shot, it's just going to keep going and not stop right where they want it. And someone once brought up here about one of the teachers I was talking to talked about using the same club for different distances in chipping, different distances, but also different trajectories. So with one club to have all those in your back pocket.
I mean, for players, when we start off playing the game, we're not learning it on the course, which we should be a heck of a lot more. But, you've got this environment, which is, a flat tee box, and maybe you've got the ball up on a tee. Then you got a whole stack of balls or tries, if you will, to be able to get that whole thing, moving in the right direction. But then all of a sudden you go to the golf course and, the grass is different. It's longer or it's shorter, and you've got an uneven lie, and, you've got wind, and you've got, all these different factors. And, it's what I call putting yourself in a situation where you can elevate your golf IQ. Your golf IQ is understanding how to adapt and how to evolve. And I think that's a big part of it.
So let's talk about the different things that you can do with your wedges and how to take better advantage with your trajectories and what the results are. What are we trying to accomplish?
Well, I mean, we're trying to create predictability, in our shot pattern, and basically have a very simple way of making adjustments that change the height of the shots. And then also, if you're working with a coach, being able to communicate and speak the same language in very finite terms. So just a system that I use, and basically it's actually a system I got from a guy named James Seekman, who's a fantastic short game coach and friend of mine. And, talking about short game, and, just the way that he described it was just like, well, that's the simplest thing I've ever heard. I think I'm going to roll with that. You know what I mean? And so, when you see someone that is effective in their communication, you take it and you help your folks as well.
Dude, that's why we keep having you back on the show.
So basically, let's say you're using your lob wedge. If you're, let's say inside of, 50 yards or so, probably closer to like, 20, 30, 40 yard shot. But, if the ball is in the middle of your stance and the club faces square, and you just make your basic rhythm pitching swing, that trajectory that you're going to get there is what we call a 2, right? So that's like the stock one is a 2. Well, then from there, if you want to have the ball go a little bit lower, all you do is slide your right foot up towards the back of the ball, narrowing your stance, but putting the ball more back. And that same swing is now going to approach the ball with the shaft leaning a little bit more forward. You de-lofted the face, and the ball's going to come out lower. We call that a 1. Well, to hit a 3, which is obviously higher than the 2, the stock shot, ball's back in the middle, and all you do is let the club face just kind of hang open just a hair, right? So the toe is just hanging open a couple of degrees, and then from there, that increases the loft, same swing, and now you got a 3. So you got a 1, 2, and a 3, and then the 4 would be a flop shot, the old Phil Mickelson, flop shot, and you probably should be doing that anyway. So the cool thing is, like, when I'm working with my students, or I'm talking with one of my high school players, and we're out on the golf course, and we walk up to one of his, his shots, and it's near the green. I go, "What are you thinking here? Where are you gonna hit?" And he'll say, "I'm gonna hit a 3 with my lob wedge." And I'll go, "Okay, that sounds good. I know what that means." And he knows
right.
what that means.
He doesn't mean I'm hitting a 3-iron with my lob.
Yeah,
chipping up with my 3-iron.
Yeah, but we're talking about the trajectory. When he says 3, I know exactly the shot that he's picturing, which is a great way to communicate because there's no assumptions.
So okay, let's pretend here on your 1, 2, 3, 4s we're about 10 yards short of the green, and it's a front flag.
Well, it all depends on, how fast the greens are. I mean, 10 yards short, and it's a front flag. Depending on how far front and what's in front of you, a lot of times you can even putt the ball. I mean, obviously, if the grass is short enough from that distance. I think that those front those front flags with fast greens, from only 10 yards out are probably a heck of a lot harder than, the ones that are more towards the back of the green for sure. So,
yeah.
So it all depends, it's all imagination, and it's all understanding the conditions that you got and what you think you're going to be able to pull off. But I mean, from there, you could bump and run it up you could do either one. You could do a 1, keep it low. You could just hit it, at the stock height and, land it a little bit shorter and see if it just runs out a couple feet, or you could, flop it up a little bit. And I think that in the course of a single round of golf, with good players, you probably see all those shots at some point.
Are there any formulas of like, okay, so if say we have a same position 10 yards out, but it's a back flag, and we know the ball is going to roll a fair amount of distance. So is there like a formula of like, where should I land it in relation to where I'm standing to let it roll, which I think, the distance it's going to go? Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, it does. It's a really difficult question to answer because
Sure.
there's so many factors involved. Is there moisture on the ball? Is there grass, between the club face and the ball? How firm are the greens? What's my technique, relative to how much spin I'm putting on a shot like this? So,
So I think what you're trying to tell me is practice the shot and learn what your ball does for yourself, and then figure out the situation at the time.
Yeah. That's the golf IQ part. That's
right.
Understanding, the club and the swing based on the condition that, is going to turn out, more times than not the way you want.
And this episode of the Golf Smarter podcast is brought to you by Peter Millar, a company that was founded in 2001 with a single cashmere sweater and has grown into a premium American lifestyle brand featuring a wide range of casual sportswear, tailored menswear, and luxury performance golf apparel. And I want to emphasize golf because their golf clothes are super comfortable. But I got to tell you, this trip that I just had to Africa, I took my Peter Millar 5-pocket pants, and I also took one of my Peter Millar long sleeve shirts, white shirts, for evening time and stuff. For a couple of reasons, I brought them both. First of all, they pack incredibly well and come out looking great. They also are very comfortable. Actually, my I think that was the day we did our gorilla experience going through the jungle. I was wearing my Peter Millar 5-pocket pants because I know they could withstand it. They can live up to it and be comfortable enough that I'm not like fixing myself and whatnot. And they perform beautifully. And I was just so happy that I had them in the bag. It was not a mistake to bring my Peter Millar 5-pocket pants with me on this amazing adventure. You can wear them on the golf course. You can wear them to work. You can wear them out at night, and they always look great. So anyway, go to petermillar.com/golfsmarter. Check out some of my Peter Millar favorites. They've put a page together that shows the stuff that I like and that I find the most comfortable. So check them out, petermillar.com/golfsmarter. Check out my favorites. And be sure to use my link, and you'll receive complimentary shipping and a free Peter Millar golf cap. That's Peter Millar, MILLAR.com/golfsmarter. petermillar.com/golfsmarter. So, Jeff, as we're coming off a tough winter, it seems like all over the country it's been a tough winter, and we've even here in Northern California, which winters aren't usually this wet. I've not played in a couple of months. It's been so wet, and I finally now really appreciate my Midwest and Eastern friends who are like off for 4 or 5 months at a time and going stir crazy. But I don't want to just go right back out to the course and start playing. I need to get myself, my conditioning, my swing, and even my mental game back in order after a long break. And I'm hoping, and I know with Make the Turn, this is the type of stuff that it's right. Again, it's in your wheelhouse. Help, please. Help, Jeff Ritter. Help.
Yeah. I like to start with the mindset stuff because that's where everything begins. And if you're not excited and enthusiastic about what you're pursuing, and have a belief system, that supports that growth, then you're just not going to get a whole lot out of it. So there's an exercise that is actually part of a pre-round routine series that we do, and the exercise is called the convincing argument, right? So, I would ask, the listeners to imagine that they were presenting to a panel of judges, and they were trying to convince the panel that 2019 was going to be their best year ever on the golf course, and it should be, looking at all the things that you're doing in a positive way to actually, influence and affect that goal. Like, I've got some great coaching. I've been eating better. I've lost some weight. I've got my trainer on my fitness class, and, my hip, doesn't hurt as much as it used to. And, I got a new putter, and, last season I really finished strong. And, all these things become, arguments in favor of success. But the thing is that at the end of the presentation, you want everyone on the panel to look at each other and go, I believe him. He's going to kick ass. He's got a lot of good stuff going on, that really support his game. And of course, you're really not trying to convince the panel. You're really trying to convince yourself that you deserve to be having the kinds of experiences that you want in golf, and then backing it up with all the things you're doing to to help you achieve that reality.
I love that.
The convincing argument.
Well,
the convincing argument.
Yeah, the convincing argument. Just basically you're trying to convince yourself, but and go in with positive energy, positive ideas, as opposed to thinking about how I haven't played, I can't swing, I don't know how to do this. There's like so many arguments that is so easy to make to yourself about why you're going to struggle to get the season started. But you really don't need to be there, do you?
No.
Especially if you keep your expectations down when you walk on the course, you'll probably have a great round anyway.
Well, interesting, like the whole expectation thing. I think it comes down to, are you in flow? Are you out of flow? But one of my little mantras, related to, golf and life is, expect the world, accept the results. Right. So, when I'm over a shot, I just don't want to kind of picture kind of a good shot. I want to picture an amazing shot. Right. And I want to picture the ball, going in the hole. That's the whole point of the game, and even though that's, possibly implausible, it doesn't mean that it still shouldn't be my expectation, because that's an exciting thing, and it's a true representation of what I want to have occur. But the thing is, because, golf is a highly variable game, as is life, you have to be accepting of what you get, and then move on to the next thing, So, my whole thing with Make the Turn is I like to get people excited. I like to increase expectations and, create some passion and infuse some enthusiasm into their lives, and then, build a mindset around that where, you don't label shots as good and bad. They're simply outcomes that have the opportunity to be adjusted, again, in a fun and playful way.
I think you just came up with the title of this week's show.
What's that? Expect
the world, accept the results.
All right.
Yeah.
Love it.
I do too. That is like the best piece of advice. Wow. Don't overdo it, though. Okay, so what about your physical conditioning, your swing, getting back into in-season shape? Now that we've got a good attitude about going out there.
Yeah, the best thing you can do is, if you can get in the garage or anywhere, and just make golf swings. Just make swings, up in the air, a couple inches off the ground. You start to get the feeling of how to control the club, increase speed, feel that, natural kinetic chain that we should have that is transferring energy out to the club head. And I think I remember Hank Haney or someone said, if the average golfer just went out back and made 100 swings a day, they wouldn't believe how much, they would get their snap and their coordination down, which would really help them.
And that's without a ball. The ball can also actually hurt you at this point, because now you're looking at that and not grooving your swing.
Yeah, it's all about trying to feel, a circular arc, that's got some snap to it, right? And if you're feeling that snap and you're hearing that sound, then you're building some of what you need to to go out there and perform. And of course, from the fitness side, like I said before, you're at your best when you feel your best, and that's going to come from, trying to take as much, out of your diet that creates inflammation, those aches and pains, in your body. Really committing to drinking a lot of water, trying to select, whole foods or natural foods, minimally processed products, get your body in a position where, it wants to perform like an athlete. And then it's just really, staying loose, doing the things that people don't like doing, like the foam rolling and the mini bands, all those things that really make a huge, huge difference. And, when you feel light and free and powerful, it makes you want to hit it harder. It helps you hit it harder. It's really empowering when your body feels young, and that's available to more people than they know. They've just been conditioned to assume that when they get to a certain age and certain things happen, and joints don't move quite as well anymore, and you lose 15 yards, and that's just the way it is. And I was an 8, and now I'm a 12, and maybe I'll quit. That's yeah. So
I need to clarify when you say hit it harder, because to me that's almost like when you say something is cheaper, but you mean it's less expensive. You're not talking about the quality. So when you're talking about hitting harder, are we talking about a freer, faster swing? Because I know that when you try to swing hard, you're introducing problems.
Well, I mean, an explosive movement. Think about what it would feel like to hit a home run. That's not a syrupy, just let the head swing back and swing through and the ball gets in the way. I mean, that's, they're cranking on it. They're hitting it, and, in golf, there's different categories of players. There's hitters and swingers, and the hitters tend to be a little bit more reckless. Like, Arnold Palmer would have been a hitter, and Payne Stewart would have been more of a swinger, more of a rhythm and timing guy. But the thing is that both methods or styles are valid and useful. But the Cameron Champs of the world out there, you watch these guys hitting tee-balls, and they are hitting it. They're not swinging the club. They're hitting that thing, exploding into it. I mean, it's amazing.
I'll throw out some names. You tell me, hitter or swinger. Okay?
All right.
Ernie Els.
Oh, definitely a swinger.
Yeah. Tiger. Today.
He's a hitter.
Okay. Jordan.
He's a hitter, yeah.
Jordan Spieth.
He would be a hitter.
Dustin Johnson. He's a pounder.
Well, it's interesting. So he's a hitter in from the explosive standpoint, but the rhythm that he has in his swing, it makes him look like he could be a swinger if you didn't know how far the ball was going.
Right. How about Brooks Koepka?
He's a hitter.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
Who's your favorite swinger on the tour these days? I'm just trying to get a point of reference of what you mean on this. Yeah, I mean, I think Cameron Champ. It's just so it's so powerful and so athletic and so effortless, and it's just fun to watch. I have a buddy of mine, Josh Zander. There you go.
You know Josh?
Oh yeah, Josh's been on the show numerous times. Thank you so much. He's amazing. Yeah. He's amazing.
Yeah, so Josh was down at the AT&T, and he popped off some video with Cameron down there, and he sent it up to me, and I was just mesmerized because I'd never been able to get up close to him and have film of his swing and break it down and all that stuff. So pretty cool. Yeah, he's cool. A great swinger in the golf club.
Wow. I know that we're here. We're recording this near the beginning of beginning of March 2019, and we're also going to be publishing this in the as early as we can in March, because you got something coming up at the end of March that we want to promote for you.
Yeah, thank you. We're running a 2-day golf school down in Phoenix, Arizona, at the Whirlwind Golf Club, March 30th and 31st. So it's everything we do. It's rooted in skill building, but we talk mental toughness. We talk health, and we give people tools to, upgrade all these different areas of the game to, lead to these lower scores. So 2-day affair, real high end treatment and engagement. My good friend Aaron Olson, who's a Golf Digest Best Young Teacher, he's going to be joining me along with some members from our fitness team. And right up here in Bend, we got about 3.5 feet of snow, on the fairways right now. So I wanted to go back to my old stomping grounds a little bit, because I was in Phoenix for a very long time, and see if anyone else who wanted to connect and take a little trip while the winter winds down. And we certainly love to entertain them and show them a heck of a time.
How many spaces do you have available for the overall? I mean, how many students are you going to try to get for the weekend?
Yeah, I think 12 is your max. Anywhere between 8 and 12 is a really nice group size. You go above 12, and all of a sudden it just seems like you don't have as much time as you want, to give everyone, for the value. And sometimes when you get too small of a group, there's just not enough energy. So it's nice to get a diverse group of people and have a good time over a couple of days.
Yeah. So two full days. Does that include a round of golf, or is it just instruction for the 2 days?
It's 2 full days, and it's some on-course coaching in the afternoon each day. So basically nine holes each day in the afternoon. Awesome. So we're on the golf course, and of course they're free to come in a day early and stay a day later and play a little bit more golf if they want. But we definitely, intense on the coaching side, but we're definitely having fun and making sure that we're on the golf course, doing situational coaching as well, where that application is what really leads to the results.
Yeah. And how do people find a way to sign up and get in touch with it?
Yeah. The best thing is just to go through the website. So mttperformance.com and then /programs. And you'll see a special panel just for this particular golf school.
Okay. That's M as in mother, MTT, which is make the turn, mttperformance.com /programs. Okay. Hey, and if anyone out there is going to sign up, well, you should, because Jeff's a phenomenal teacher because he covers all aspects. He's not just going to work on just your swing or just your putting. It's the whole gamut. But just make sure you let Jeff know that you heard about it here on Golf Smarter.
Absolutely. That'd be fantastic.
All right, buddy. Well, it's great to talk to you again. And
you too.
Warm up a little bit, because once you get to Phoenix, you'll want to cool off.
Yeah, right. I know. So it'll be good. We've seen a few more bodies in there, and so we're just trying to do a lot more. I don't want to say grassroots stuff, but this is all based around the app. The app is sort of the scalable thing, and then around that we're going to be trying to do more experiences where people can come to a school or see us in Oregon or another part of the country, and just connect with more people. Awesome.
Well, make sure you tell Jeff that you heard about it here. Jeff, it's great to talk to you again, man. Be well.
All right. Thank you, Fred. Take care.
Each week I send an update out as to what's going on with the podcast and other news found at golfsmarter.com. And last week I asked you to vote on a name for our new upcoming Golf Smarter podcast. And if you've not heard, let me explain. Golf Smarter has diligently been published each week since the end of 2005. Okay, I've missed a couple of weeks once or twice, but you get the point. There are so many episodes like today's that have fabulous instructional information for golfers of all skill levels, but they can no longer be heard. And I can't tell you how many emails I receive from listeners for the last 14 years who tell me they go back as far as possible to hear old episodes of their favorite topics like putting or short game, or teachers who've been on multiple times like Jeff Ritter, Josh Zander, Jim Waldron, Jamie Zimron, Jim Venetos, Tony Manzoni, Martin Chuck, and many others. Well, unfortunately for us, all podcast aggregators like iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Blog Talk Radio, they only showcase 250 to 300 episodes, which makes sense for most shows, but not for this golf podcast. So this spring, I'm going to launch a new show that will feature your favorite Golf Smarter episodes from our archives. which brings us to the vote. I'll include a link in today's show notes, and I'll also include that link in this week's email newsletter so that you can vote for one of 6 names that have been suggested. Now, I'll tell you that so far, the 2 leaders in the vote are Golf Smarter Classics and one I'm kind of partial to, Golf Smarter Mulligans. So please let me know what you think by voting for your favorite, and I'll keep you informed as to when the show is going to be available. And while I'm talking about links in the show notes, I'm going to leave a link in today's show notes for the Tony Manzoni book, The Lost Fundamental, One Simple Move, Better Golf Forever, available in Kindle format for only $6.99 or paperback for $9.99. And if you're interested in getting a link to the video, which is no longer available on DVD but can be watched online, why don't you just send me an email and I'll let you know how to get it. And one more reminder that our first of 3 weekly giveaways for a $100 Amazon gift card is our next episode. So make sure you register at golfsmarter.com/auto/. And I want to thank Auto/, again, for generously providing these gift cards. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at GolfSmarter, or click on the Hey Fred button at golfsmarter.com.